Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday webinar. And today we're looking at networking and how it can impact on your future career. So, we've got something really special. We're having a slightly different format on our Wednesday webinars, and we're going to have a video from someone who's going to talk about something that's important to them in terms of their legal career, their study skills, and then we're going to have a chat about how it worked out for them, because I think it's really important, especially at this time of year. You're getting towards the end of your course. It's so important to be inspired by other people who are in the same situation as you, and just to get some ideas and tips as to how things worked out for them. So our first video guest today is going to be Kunal, and he's a aspiring barrister studying on the bar professional training course, and he's going to talk to us about the effects of networking and what impacts it's had on him. So once we've seen the video, we will then take questions. So first of all, let's go over to Kunal, who's going to talk to you about networking.
Currently on the BPDC LLM course. Uh, Suzanne is great. Her teaching style is unparalleled.
Oh,
So when she asked me to do this video, uh, I couldn't refuse. In terms of one thing that I would like to change about student life, I think the university does offer ample opportunities to network, but I feel that they are not adequate. So sometimes you have to create those opportunities for yourself. And don't be scared to go to practitioners who are experienced, ask for their advice, ask for their email. Uh, I know it's very difficult to secure legal work experience. So reach out to practicing barristers, solicitors, say, can I shadow you? I know you must have heard this advice before, but after my uh, the events at the inn, I usually see that a lot of students would congregate amongst their own groups which they're comfortable with, which is but natural. But my advice would be to step outside that comfort zone and to go and speak to uh, practitioners there, members of the inn, and don't hesitate. You'll be surprised how nice these people are and how much they're willing to help. And how did I change these networking opportunities for myself? I'm an avid user of LinkedIn, and I swear by it. But it's not just about having presence in LinkedIn, it's about engaging, it's about putting content on there as well. Uh, just to say that it's so difficult to get pupillage or training contracts, which I'm very well aware of. Myself haven't been able to secure pupillage yet, but perseverance is, I think, very important because it's very easy to get disheartened and to give up. Uh, the bigger challenge is to keep going on, keep you know uh, climbing till you reach the top of Mount Everest. And in this profession, unfortunately, there will be more lows than highs. I feel from my experience, but when those highs come, it you will feel on top of the world. Uh, so for me, I started networking and looking for international work placement opportunities last year. And I, through my networking, I was introduced to somebody who then I interviewed with this international law firm in Moscow, and they offered me an international work placement this summer. So I don't speak Russian, uh, but because of some value they must have seen, uh, I'll be going to Moscow, and I intend to make the most of it. So the impact that this has is just phenomenal in terms of you don't know where networking can take you. Networking is is an art, I believe, and you tend to build up on your networking skills. But anyone can acquire that. Uh, so my one word advice for all of you would be engage. Thank you, and good luck for your future endeavors.
Oh, that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much to Kunal for giving us some words of wisdom. And what was really important is that he's going through what you're going through now, you know, studying, trying to get pupillage, trying to get work experience, and trying to make the best application that you possibly can, given, you know, the extraordinary situation that we find ourselves in. What I really liked from Kunal's video is that he was very clear. Engage, he said. Engage was really important, and I love the description he gave of networking events at inns, where you actually do see people all huddled together, not just at the inns, at all sorts of events, huddled together with people they know, talking because they're comfortable in that group. And it is really difficult to try and push yourself out of your comfort zone and perhaps go up and talk to somebody who's been your idol, someone that you respect, someone that's published, and start a conversation. And it's not easy. But you know what? It starts with just that one step that says, hello, my name is, I really enjoyed your talk. Or what did you think of the talk today? Or whatever it is that is that sort of icebreaker. And I say to students, networking isn't about just introducing yourself and saying, oh, I'm looking for a training contract, I'm looking for pupillage, can you get it? Can you give it to me? It's a process, it's an interaction, it's about engaging, finding out what the person finds interesting, discussing what you do a little bit, but it's a balance. It's like building a alliance. You do it slowly, 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 and you don't start off with the first word, I'm looking for pupillage, could you give me pupillage? Oh, I want some work experience, can I work at your firm? So Kunal's advice was absolutely brilliant. Definitely highly recommend using LinkedIn, building a profile on LinkedIn, a professional profile, engaging on LinkedIn with various groups and people, really important. And today we've had some messages sent to us on by email. And I've got a message here from Sabrina. She says, Suzanne, can people who are not confident network? Yes, you can. You're not going to start off by going to a networking event, going to the stage and announcing, I am blah, blah, blah. You're going to start with small steps. Whatever event you go to, it's a virtual event, a physical event, because we'll all be getting back to physical contact, safe physical contact shortly. What you're trying to do is start to build rapport. And if you're not confident, you're not going to go into the middle of a big group and try and integrate and start a conversation. Find those people on the edge of the group who are by themselves. And it's a lot easier to go up to one person and say, hello, I am Suzanne. How are you? Did you enjoy the talk? You don't always have to be in a big group. So start small and then gradually work your confidence up so that you can interact in bigger groups. And always remember those manners that your parents taught you, which is to be polite, introduce yourself in the group, apologize if you've stopped people talking. I'm sorry for interrupting. I just thought I'd come over and speak to this group. My name is Suzanne. Please don't let me interrupt the conversation. And then just listen and engage when it's appropriate. You don't always have to go into a group and be, the center of attention, the life and soul of the party. So nibble away at the edges first and then gradually try and work your way into larger groups. But Kunal was absolutely right. You have to get out of your comfort zone. If you're completely surrounded by your friends, you are not going to network and you're not going to communicate with new people that you haven't been communicating with before. So even on virtual events, don't hang out with your friends. Make an effort to move around the virtual event and to network with people that you haven't previously been in contact with. Okay, second question. I got by email. Do good things happen to other people? So this is Sanjeev, and Sanjeev is querying whether we hear stories about people who network and then they get introduced to somebody else and then somebody else and then finally they get introduced to a senior partner of a law firm and they get a training contract. Listen, things that you don't expect happen when you engage, you interact with people. You do not know where it will take you. Don't always be thinking that these stories that happen are always other people and it's never going to be you. If Kunal hadn't networked the way he had, would he be going to Moscow this summer for work experience? No. So that's a wonderful thing. He did something, he got out of his comfort zone, he engaged with people, and now, what a wonderful thing to have on your CV. Think of the contacts, think of the work experience, and think about being able to discuss, if you want to do international business law or international law of any description, to have had or to be having an experience of going to a foreign country to do some work. Wow, that's so going to energize your discussions at interviews or pupillage interviews. It will be absolutely brilliant. Okay, a third question. Where do I start? Where does this question is from Sarah. Where do I start networking? I'm so overwhelmed by all the things they have online. Okay, Sarah, start small. Okay, start with your profile. I would say on LinkedIn, it's a good professional online networking service. Find groups on LinkedIn that have the sort of similar interests that you're interested in, the area of work that you want to work in, and engage. So even if it's just to say congratulations or thank you for posting something, a little bit of conversation going on. Don't just like things, comment on them. If there's an interesting article or blog, go and read it and then come back to that post, thank the person for posting it and comment about something in the blog post to show that you've used your initiative, you've read the article and that you've got something to say. So just start small. Just join one or two networking sites and start from there. Okay, so I did a wonderful webinar on networking. You can catch it on the website, www.inspiredstudy.org. And really that was like the basics of networking, why it's important, how to do it properly. And Kunal's just explained brilliantly the effect and power of networking when you get it right. Now, do we have any questions that have come through live? I can't see any at the moment. Let me just check because sometimes they're directly on Facebook and they are not they're not apparent straight away. So let's see if we've got any comments. No, we don't have any comments. Okay, well, for this Wednesday, we're doing really well with time. Let me just throw one other thing that I found at a networking event. In the physical world, I do remember going to a networking event. It was very well attended. The guest speaker was absolutely wonderful. And I have a tendency, I just don't like to be that first person who rushes into the guest speaker to just chat to them or take a selfie with them. It's just not my way. Okay, so eventually the crowds died down and there weren't too many people around the speaker. She was on our own. And I thought this is the time just to go up and say, I really enjoyed your talk. I loved the fact that you were so frank and honest. And I remember going towards the speaker just to say this, and she was like, hello. And I was introducing myself, and somebody else barged in and said, can I just take a picture? And I just thought it was so rude. So can I just appeal to you? There is no space in networking for bad manners. So when you network, please be polite. Don't sort of shove yourself into people's conversations. Be delicate and polite about how you do it, and make sure that you're not rude to other people in the room who also want to speak to the speaker. How to reduce? Now, I've got one question that's come up on the chat line. How to reduce communication barrier in networking? Okay, well, this is just really about you having the time not to get nervous and flustered. Just to say what you want to say plainly and simply. Sometimes when you think about something too much and you're excited and you're nervous at the same time, it's quite easy for you to come across as someone talking gibberish. So your nerves kick in, your anxiety started, and you can't think of a sensible question. Well, just tone it down a bit. Just keep it simple. Who am I? Why am I here? Did I like the speaker's event? Just those sort of basic questions that get you into a conversation, calms your nerves down. I would say whenever I network, I spend the first 5-10 minutes listening to the other person. It's rude just to start networking and tell somebody all about yourself. You want to, first of all, introduce yourself, a little conversation about how did you find the event today, or did you like the guest speaker? Let the other person talk and let them sort of relax. You'll relax while they're talking, and at the end of it, then you can start talking about what you thought, your views on the topic. All of it comes as a sort of balanced exercise. It's not one person just dominating the conversation. There is listening and there is speaking. And art of networking is to know when to speak and to when to listen. And there's nothing wrong at the beginning of the conversation for you listening to the other person. It's just respectful, I think, to do it that way. So while you're listening, your confidence rises, your anxiety goes down, and gradually you'll find that when you do speak, you're able to say something sensible and it will be interesting. But just start with little baby steps, very simple questions to start with. And if you do that, you'll give a good impression. And that's what networking is about. It's about giving a good impression. If you do it well, the person will say, yeah, I remember speaking to that person. Really interesting, very polite, had good ideas. Now, if you're rude and abrasive, that will also be an impression that's left behind. And you want to create a great impression. So I would say you won't have communication problems. You won't fluff up. You won't forget what you wanted to ask. You won't appear silly if you just go in there with some basic ground rules. Be polite, introduce yourself, be polite to the person you're speaking to, listen to what they have to say first, and then ask questions. And of course, the golden rule, don't ask for anything. It's a networking event. It's not a buy and sell sort of charity event where you're asking someone to donate. Please donate to my cause of getting a training contract. Please donate to my cause of wanting pupillage. This is not the appropriate time to ask those sort of questions. That's sometime in the future, after you have a rapport with somebody, you have a relationship, and they have an understanding of what sort of person you are. And when you do it like that, networking is actually good fun. It's relaxing, not stressful, because you're just being yourself. You're speaking to somebody and listening to what they have to say. And that's it. You're not expecting to get something tangible out of it at the end of the first event. You are there for the long haul to develop your contacts, to leave a good impression, to listen to what someone has to say, and to speak your truth and leave that really good impression. And when you do that, you don't know what that person takes away with them and who they know. And they may be talking about a subject, you pop into their head, oh, I spoke to somebody at a virtual event or at a physical event. He or she was doing XYZ, they might be interesting. And then they let me introduce you to that person. So they introduce somebody, and then that somebody introduced you to somebody else. And just like Kunal, you may find yourself in a international work placement, maybe not in Moscow, but somewhere that you really want to be. So networking, it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to build your career and contacts in a very enjoyable way. And it's not going to work in 1 second. It's something that you're going to do for the rest of your career. And wow, you've got a long time to practice, and you will be an expert at it the more you practice. So for Wednesday webinar, thank you so much for spending the time with me today. Let me know if you've got any good stories about what happened to you when you networked and where you ended up. I'd love to hear them. Send them to me on Facebook. Please join up to the Facebook group. And if you want to watch any of the webinars, go along to the website www.inspiredstudy.org, where you can find all of my books, my online courses, and webinars. There's some amazing free PowerPoint slides and infographics in our Facebook Masterclass group. Join and you can have access to those. Thanks so much for spending a bit of your Wednesday evening with me, and I will see you next Wednesday for Wednesday Webinar Live. Bye, everybody.